Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that it's not one of those sort of ace in the hole style.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's lock in.
Into the draft, and already we have a first pick. BB going to lock down the Jarvan for SkewMond, and now Dplus Kia to try and figure it out.
You know, he got put down by the early levels.
Jarvan slam.
And Lucid out jungling him in that early game. But this pick, his Jarvan in particular, inspired me when I watched him at first.
You get like Casio, Nautilus, 2-3. I think that G2 have a cooking draft room.
Wolf.
Yeah, well, we knew it was.
No, come on, man.
I told you I was nervous about it, and there was a reason.
Oh, my. You willed it into existence. You just manifested.
All right, let's go, Jayce.
Right here. Into a Jarvan.
She was just banned from playing Jayce, it seems.
Well, he's got at least the Zins out to keep him.
She was like, "Yo, if I'm gonna play Jayce, I need to be paid a salary." Steve Max is like, "All right, bet."
Okay, well,
we're in agreement.
Yes. Okay. Now G2, what are they gonna augment this Jarvan pick with?
Orianna is banned, of course, so we won't be seeing that pairing here. A lot of our mages.
What about Casio Jarvan?
Could be good.
Although I guess Syndra is picked into it quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but it hasn't worked that well in the early levels.
Lucian.
Actually, a completely different take here on this with the early
Lucian. All right.
Okay.
Lucian is good into AP carries bot with the dash frequency.
A lot of follow burst forehands, and
that's Lucian Nautilus instead of the Bilio.
Are the days of the Lucian Nami.
Yep. The Lucian Milio as well has really fallen out of favor.
Lucian Braum? Forget about it.
Forget about it. We did see a
Lucian
Braum
Yumi?
ban.
No way!
Yeah, I hope not. We did know that there was going to be no Yumi because of that piece of content that we had prior to this, and Hans Sommer said that he didn't like it.
Rell mozzarella,
so
all right.
Be all right. The Rell consideration here for Korea, which is not what I was expecting. I kind of thought that they would lock something away for Siwoo and then protect it in the next ban phase. But
This is quite
instead, splitting the bottom lane.
Yeah, quite a weird pick. A lot of engage is gone. No Camille, no Leona, right? So with the Nautilus also taken away.
G2, ban Twisted Fate and let Caps play Akali.
I think it's a pretty easy Jhin ban for G2.
Go for it.
At this point, Jhin works really well with Syndra.
Yep, I would ban Jhin as well.
Yeah, you just hate Jhin, but
yeah.
I think it also makes sense from a strategic point.
Okay. There's multiple reasons to ban stuff. As we'll see what the first ban is going to be. I imagine still maybe looking towards the top lane, but never mind. It's actually a bit of an Akali.
Akali ban snap.
The Syndra pick, which I just realized, which is why
I like
that
it.
Sort of inflection in my voice that the Syndra could be heading towards the bottom lane. Smash has been playing the Victor, but he could have also been playing the Syndra down there as well. I don't know about the Syndra Lucian matchup.
What do cameramen like? Is there a cameraman in the chat? Do they straight up get like the instructions? Do they get instructions like, find any woman in the crowd and film them?
Could lead towards a Jayce pickup here for BrokenBlade in the top lane, but Yorick also just a really strong side laning champion that gives Dplus the ability to move G2 around the map. Cassiopeia feels like a strong tier.
It's like when you watch LCK or LPL, it's like find any white man and film them.
Just to try and remove a string from the bow of Caps. And the LeBlanc is another great option. One of the shared champions between both Caps and ShowMaker.
Kali LeBlanc, so they're setting up for this Syndra to go mid.
Might be just even a ShowMaker decision saying, CV Max, I just don't want to deal with this in this matchup. Caps is great at it. I am a great LeBlanc player myself.
Yeah, I know how bad this matchup can be. Yeah,
exactly. That's probably his call on that.
You
one.
act as if
Jhin kind of out there and
why are triggered? You make it sound like that isn't the job of cameraman everywhere. How am I making it sound like that?
I don't mind it. Or just banning away the Cassiopeia bottom lane, which was
you're just stupid.
Viper brought in.
All I'm saying is, are those the instructions that cameramen get in every event?
The miasma is just frustrating to deal with, so getting that one out of the way is a good idea.
I think we are going to see the bottom pick here.
You guys are on some smoke, bro. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you guys. But you guys need to spend less time on the internet. I was just genuinely curious that if in the production room they're saying, cameraman, Jeff, find the attractive ladies and film them.
So got a little bit easier. Is it's going to be a rumble?
I'm just intrigued if that's a conversation.
Find out now what Caps will be piloting here in this mid lane. The Sylas to come back again.
All right, Caps with the Sylas Isla.
Syndra is something that we've been seeing quite a bit. It doesn't feel like it'd be great just because Scatter the Weak can get him out of there if he does dash his way forward. But with the chains, you just find your way
Holy
back
Zoe. Damn.
a Zoe consideration here for ShowMaker.
He did
Portal
like to play this back then when also the Syndra was meta, and it's one of his favorites. Again, BDD and ShowMaker from our region being the ones who love to pilot these the most.
And it's another
That's a Zoe
from Dplus. So ShowMaker's world famous Zoe, and that does mean
honestly, guys.
Going to be playing the Syndra
Honestly, guys.
Side of the map.
I think D2 will win this.
It has become a poke composition.
I think D2 will win this.
There's so much
unless ShowMaker turns Caps into a sock puppet and just
Jayce between the Rell, the Scatter of the Weeks, the trouble bubbles on the ground.
ShowMaker does this
really
to Caps.
To navigate around.
Turns him into a sock puppet.
We'll have to navigate through a lot of this too, but I think in some ways, because there's so many
just
different
starts
tools, including the Nautilus
speaking for him.
G2, all you have to do is hit one of those CCs. Once the cooldowns are down here for Dplus and you get in there, the Rumble Equalizer gets set up, you have the Cataclysm.
Because this matchup mid lane can get very hard. Like if Zoe rolls...
any form of consistent damage. It's all skill shot.
What's your stock name?
Damage.
Kevin.
You have the Qs come on the ground from the
if Zoe rolls...
Zoe trying to hit those paddles.
If Zoe rolls heavy when it comes to
a pain point
the spells on the wave,
okay?
She can dominate Sylas.
Did have, of course, that stinker that was what we were referring to earlier.
I just think it's a really hard composition to play for Dplus. It is incredibly difficult. I'm not saying that it cannot work, and I was fairly a quite large doubter, I would say, of their game one draft compared to what G2 had. The early game went pear-shaped for them, though, and we did end up seeing a very one-sided game. I think what happens here in the second one.
No matter what happens in this game,
I guess it functions, right? Like any form of modern advertising, right?
Just because if their hard engage works, Dplus will collapse like a house of cards. But here we are, onto the rift for game number 2, seeing whether G2 can bring us to that coveted third game decider to keep themselves alive.
What does Lady Gaga know about Polaroid?
2 more slots remaining. I'm not entirely sure what was happening with the other match just yet.
It looks JDG favored at the moment, but still too early to call. In that second game, they're leading 1-0.
Yeah, we'll see whether it is going to be another.
That's a ward. No crazy split map.
That would mean that the only.
I don't know. I have faith in G2 to make this bloody, and I have faith in Dplus in making it messy.
And we did expect that
no Argentina.
Have a pretty good showing in this particular match so far. Dplus being able to navigate their last draft very effectively.
Let me see it, G2.
Completely different story. And yes, they outrange. And if they can actually disengage from G2 effectively, then there could be some opportunities. But man, it is such a tight road.
Zinza ult will be nice for Sylas. It's not the craziest Sylas game. I agree that his ults kind of look shit.
Anchor is going to connect here as Korea just going to try and keep himself alive with that heal. All of a sudden, that is now on cooldown. Chain's going to connect here as ShowMaker does find the trouble.
ShowMaker not playing Ignite is very surprising.
The extra damage with the auto attack, and there is that paddle start down to 100 health.
Nult ult is decent.
Kingslayer coming back up, so can get some of that health.
I know Labrov has had some bad games, but he's on his team, you know, he's not.
As you say, the big difference in the bottom lane compared to these two AD carries is that Hansama doesn't need to necessarily hit abilities to actually do damage. He could just right-click whenever there's an opportunity. So if Career and Smash miss, then it is going to be very difficult to play out what happens next. But you can see right now, control in mid and top. Bottom lane is definitely G2 favored.
Yeah. And based on what we're seeing out of Smash, I'm like wondering whether actually he wanted to be a mid laner.
Caps is getting giga bonked. ShowMaker with the beautiful spacing.
Over and over again. Labrov does take a cheeky turret shot there as they do get the shove in. Checking out all of these lanes, though, it's Caps that's really drawn the short straw in this one, having to blind pick the Sylas. Does have a bunch of ultimates that can work out. Like Crescent Guard.
Syndra's meta again, and ShowMaker's not playing it. Aware.
Storm as well, if picked up in a team fight, can do a lot of damage. But the portal jump and being Jayce.
Yeah, Syndra ult is quite useless. Zinza is by far the best one, and then second best is like Rell.
Jayce's Sylas was broken. I remember Porte used to always play that one, and it was very, very dangerous. And it looks like
you see Gala in the picture-in-picture looking like a complete NPC.
Absolutely obliterating that key. As as you can see, picture in picture. So another one bites the dust here. And JDG find themselves in the knockout. So this is the last spot, the last opportunity
Classic Gala.
here for any of the teams. Just
That's my guy right there.
I do have the list here in front of me.
The lit up bars on the overlay means which camera they're showing.
From the LPL already through, BLG already through, and JDG already through.
Gala's waiting for his mom in the checkout aisle.
T1 already in there as well.
Oh, the prediction from Labrov! Woo!
As first blood goes over to Labrov.
Damn!
The angle on the dredge line was perfect,
Woo!
and he is able to get that last bit of CC through, as well as the damage required there to take
Labrov got the kill, though.
out. So a very nice early lead here for G2, and done without SkewMond's help.
Yeah, beautifully done.
If he doesn't predict that shit, bro, it's a disaster, mate.
And in they do go. Oh, picks the flash.
Well, somewhat SkewMond's help.
Yeah, a little bit of SkewMond's
A little bit of SkewMond's help.
But one of them went one way, the other one picked the flash. Like, it's beautiful. It's like, let's just take both exits to see who can.
Lucian is just very strong into AP carries because of the dash. That's all. They just wanted to pick a champion that can lane well. And they did something similar. You remember when they played, I think, Lucian Bard? Was it Lucian Bard they played? Versus Mel Pike. And they just survived the lane. And then the job was done.
But he does get booped away. And Siwoo just going to go even in that trade, basically. 10 CS going to be the advantage for the Jayce, though. And one thing can be said for Siwoo is that the laning phase, he's been fine. He's just been overextending and dying over and over again in some of these matchups.
Whoa. Oh! Holy, Labrov is on one, bro. BrokenBlade gets ult right on time.
So lucky as there is the shattering strike flash out of Korea.
Okay, it wasn't on time. It was a cannon wave.
And down
Rough.
will go BB. So the answering kill is going to be there for Dplus.
BrokenBlade was able to get a lot of that wave. Was hoping that maybe he could clear it before the dive happened, but at least
Who's screaming in the crowd, bro? Nothing is happening.
Most of those minions before going down does not have.
Wait, something is happening. We just have no camera.
They're going to be able
Syndra
to get some
died.
additional value. We'll be able to deny some more farm and experience.
Hey, yo!
That's painful. ShowMaker,
I was so confused.
resources to deal with him, as we saw before. They were able to get kill on him, but when he's left to his own devices, will feel naturally strong. Hansama dashes here forward, does a lot of damage, and then it's a Hex Flash engage. Tricky angle there on the dredge line. Almost looked like
Smash stayed?
turret, but was able to hit Smash there, and then SkewMond comes over.
All right.
All the way out.
Smash not going to have a whole lot of fun here. Does manage to get the scatter, but Smash will just
Bomba.
ardently blaze and will be taken out of that one. As BrokenBlade also going to suffer on the top side.
Hits level 6 to clear the wave, but not quite able to do it in time, of course.
All right, so it does mean that the gold leads on the map are Siwoo on the top side of the map.
SkewMond is 6 ahead of Lucid. He got the bot grab.
Position towards this bottom side on the
Hansama looking clean so far. This has been a good Hansama game.
Anchors are going to continue working because he has really started this game on the right foot this time around. And Dplus miss a cannon towards that bottom side. Not exactly the greatest of times. And you know that a support is having a great time when they're just hex flashing around the lane.
Yeah, and that is generally the state that you want to be in if you're in control. It's just threatening non-stop because you have that tempo.
Is there a draw? I'm not so sure how the format works.
Go for it one more time.
EWC has been fun.
They did have that control ward in there, but Career is still just going to get caught out. Crashes down in order to keep himself alive, but sacrifices a lot of his health bar. Now Caps
No,
is
Caps, live.
The Battle Star will push him away.
Still doesn't have his teleport back, so we'll just have to chug through.
I think the majority of it is determined, right? I think the teams from groups are on opposite sides of the bracket.
Some cooldown boots, so it's not really the deadliest of Zoes at this point in time. Really does want to pick up the Ludens for that extra burst damage to really take control of this mid-game.
There's probably like a lot of rules that will force the bracket in some way.
Trying to look for a kill there on the Caps and runs face first into SkewMond. So ends up being fine there. The ward is cleared. Now we move forward. Siwoo is proxying the wave here. Clearing this up as fast as possible, trying to further his lead on the top sides. Do have Void Grubs spawning. He wants to deny some farm here from BrokenBlade, but Labrov again is ready to Hex Flash, potentially over this wall. will run face first into the ward instead.
Where's Lucid?
He's going real fast. There's the flash over
Labrov getting Jayce flash. Pretty big.
Doesn't actually have to, as G2 back away pretty quickly. SkewMond now finding Korea in the river. We'll be able to get that knockout onto the horse pants lady.
Here's no flash. Oh.
This was not the time to roam.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, even the hijack coming through as the Magnet Storm is picked up for the Sylas. That's a phenomenal ultimate for Caps to have for the next little while. See whether he finds an opportunity to use it.
Korea trying to look for a little bit of information or maybe even try to hold the wave there for ShowMaker, but unfortunately for him, he is found at the worst possible time as, like you said, ShowMaker was on that back. And now SkewMond is going to be able to pick up this dragon. So we'll be G2 getting further ahead in this early game. It's really only Siwoo that has that gold lead right now. And it's on a Jayce, and this comp is, like I said before, so complicated to play, and the Syndra is so tricky.
G2 now.
If it actually isn't
SkewMond has Sun Sky.
In whatever lane it's playing, often a mage versus mage in this meta, but into the Lucian, you're just constantly getting pushed out. You're unable to farm properly. As you guys could see in the CS, he's a level down, practically, on Hansama right now, is about to hit level 8. G2 are kind of just winning everywhere with the exception of that top side.
We'll see whether DK can actually play through Siwoo this time around, because we know he is a man that does tend to overextend. The rhyme was unintentional, but the meaning was intended. Korea moving down towards his bottom side to try and keep Smash alive as the anchor is
here we go.
Greet him, crashes down towards his awesome dude carry guy.
Now Siwoo needs some help, but Lucid
Siwoo no flash from before. Nautilus burnt it. Run below.
The barbecue is set up here for Siwoo, but steps to the side and will be able to get out of the furnace for now.
We missed Rumble
of tanking that turret for long enough. The teleport brings ShowMaker over to make sure that they are going to be all right. A smash, force of will comes down, but there is
good stun. I think Hansama's gonna die. Rip Bozo. Sylas, Lila, TP. Labrov, where's your 6, son? Where's your 6, son? Oh, that's not ShowMaker Syndra.
Now they do end up getting away there very narrowly, as that scatter was not quite.
If they dove better top, then Jayce wouldn't TP and Sylas would get double kill.
Teleport now committed down here to the top, to the bottom side. It's Hansama who did take it in this matchup.
Ooh, ShowMaker.
Syndra,
ooh, ooh. Ooh, ShowMaker's gonna chase him with Ghost, no?
Picked up for ShowMaker.
Okay.
Still doesn't quite have his lost chapter yet, right? Like, I do feel like if that first item spike comes in, if BrokenBlade gets caught like that again, he could just die. Flash out of the way from Hansama, though, as Lucid does find a good angle with the wind becomes lightning, and Smash makes his way back in. Not going to get the kill or anything like that, but a flash from the AD carry feels fantastic here for Dplus.
Going back to this play here.
Yeah, this trade was not good.
Ending up blocking this off, and Hansama holds his ground. Just eats so much damage from that Q, and the ult comes through, and he just is deleted. And there wasn't. I mean, Caps was so far away. I don't know if Hansama would have been able to buy.
Yeah, I don't know about that trade.
TP had he just walked back.
Labrov just needs to get 6, bro.
Wanted Labrov's flash here is fantastic, but they still end up losing out on the exchange in a big way. Hansama was forced to flash on return as well. So Dplus down on gold right now, but only 900 and got a big win back.
Yeah, and the flash scatter was really weird there from Smash as well. Didn't quite have an ult down in order to set up any sort of stun, but see what happens.
JG1 apparently.
Continues. Most gold in the game belongs to Caps, Hans, and SkewMond, and they have got a 1,000 gold advantage due to that one. Dplus still kind of fine in this game for now. We mentioned it's a bit like a tightrope to make this composition work, and if G2 continue to find the hard engages that Nautilus is pretty good at, a Jarvan is pretty good at, then it could be real difficult. DK need to try and keep them at arm's length as best they can.
This guy picked up here for Lucid, so now be able to match SkewMond in that regard to big items. Really, this.
Yeah, I forgot.
When they collide together, I think the best
You're right, they did show Galash destroying the key.
Right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen that doesn't go the way you expect, because it's just not the way traditional League of Legends is played when we have, you know,
it is a good day indeed, Bizges.
But it's very fragile. And very bursty, and if you don't end up getting
Drake in 1 minute, will we see fireworks? Item on everybody on G2. Could be fun.
The portal jump, though, will keep him safe over that wall. And it isn't too much of a worry as Caps just wandering around this mid lane. And does have a 450 gold advantage on this Sylas, as Labrov once again having a real good time.
Labrovador.
His Hex Flash. And ShowMaker going to get caught
This
out
could be a
here.
fatty trade here. No Magic Mantle doing a lot of work. Porte ready to go. Caps. Doesn't chase further. Doesn't know Zhao information.
Trying to make something back of this, but Caps is already way out of there, so just gonna have to go to his jungle.
Yeah, Lucid actually realizing, maybe getting the call from ShowMaker that he has to stick around to lock that one down. Ludens is completed here for ShowMaker. That is certainly great news. We'll start to do a fair bit of damage if those sleeps do connect.
That's the big one. He's already doing a lot of damage to you know, some of the squishier champions here on G2's roster. Now has the ability to fight in this upcoming dragon if they can get control of it, or at least some space control here to allow him to get.
We should win Ballon d'Or.
A lot of space to work with here, as you can see.
I don't have
there's
an
a
opinion,
control
bro.
ward in the pit. The dragon just shoves to the entrance as G2 are not.
Zoe just picked for the matchup against Sylas, but she didn't get the job done because she got ganked and slayed by a Nautilus predict hook. Jayce's flash up again. Let's see if they can dive Jayce.
Unlike game one, they will simply give it up.
Yeah, ShowMaker also picks up a locket, which is kind of a ridiculous item to grab as the Zoe. That's a real good one. Could be used quite nicely in defense, but Lucid just going to be able to take this one down. They're not going to be able to utilize that locket just yet. The ShowMaker is just going to throw it down as he wanders towards this bottom lane. Caps looking for an angle. The chains do not land as he still decides to go on top.
Oh, the bubble is beautiful.
He picks up the unleashed power and throws it at Smash. But
Oh, Mercury's are doing work. Holy, the Mercs is so much work.
G2 keep their mid laner alive.
It's just so, the League of Legends looks so weird when
Wow.
you've got the Syndra and the Zoe playing in tandem like that in a side lane, as Caps is unable to make that pick work. It was so close. Those
Jayce and Jarvan invested so much time into Jayce, but didn't push him off the wave. Still laning, still chilling.
Kind of reset to, again, a fairly normal game state here. One dragon apiece. It is Infernal Soul, which would be insane for either of these compositions, but especially with the burst power in this Syndra Zoe composition. G2 definitely want to make sure they can lock down the rest of those for this game. BrokenBlade stabilized in his lane, went for the Rocket Belt, so a little bit more of a defensive option here in this matchup. Actually used it to stop the back there. Siwoo, very briefly, you can see on the mini-map.
Yeah, also going to go for the steel caps as well to make sure that this Jayce is not going to be too much.
The TP.
But speaking of
Zoe, ShowMaker with the banana. Ooh.
The bubble is not going to quite connect onto
BrokenBlade gets the wave. This is going to be quite an empty kill, guys. Empty kill. Very empty kill. Look at Sylas bot lane. Jarvan clicking top, though, is bad. They should be diving Jayce right now. Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now.
So he doesn't have it defensively, can't get away there. And it was a quick rotation up from Dplus. This gold lead is so small here.
They're so late on the dive. Caps with his best Jayce impression. Siwoo gets so much of the wave. Bad cross map from G2.
So I don't think they can get the full turret either.
Yeah, not quite. So I actually thought that they were going to get that last plate. It's what I was about to say, but does not actually
Come
happen.
on
So
now.
first turret does go over to DK. The Herald goes down as well. And that means that they pull the gold back.
I really want to watch the Odyssey, man. I'm so hyped for the Odyssey.
I still do think that tightrope.
I'm quite the Nolan fanboy, so.
And as this game goes on, the team fights just make a whole lot more sense for G2 and will be very, very difficult to pilot for Dplus. But it is a style of composition that they have made work in the past. And we'll see whether they can do it yet again.
That this game is so close is...
Allianz Gold Graph.
I'm going to maybe have to hold my thought on this because we are going to have a bit of a potential follow-up here on this sleep. Doesn't hit.
Yeah, Caps going to lose a lot of health on his turret and on his own health bar. Dplus moving into the river, 2 minutes on the Drake, so we're not fighting over that one. We're just looking for a Rift Scuttler. Great knock up there onto his Demacian brother, as now Hansaman possibly in a little bit of trouble.
Okay, G2. Sylas a little bit late to the party. I need you to pop off, Caps. I need you to pop off, Caps. Show me the pop off. Show me the pop off.
And Siwoo has to get the heck out of dodge. And this is the problem. G2, if they're in melee range, they will kill you.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's just no durability here outside of the Crescent Guard for Lucid. I mean, sure, career kind of tanky on the support here, but isn't going to last very long when there's that much firepower there for G2. And if Caps had been there a little bit faster, you can imagine how much worse this could have gone for Dplus, and the Crescent Guard is on their side as well, with Cap stealing that one away, and this turret will finally go down here. Be the second turret of the game, as the first did go over to Dplus, but it puts a much larger...
I think the C9 are fun.
Hands. So it's
good.
Messy here for Dplus initially. A lot of
I look forward to seeing the officials.
Smash rotates over, right? You have that TPing Jayce. There's no backbone for this composition once they end up getting control over Lucid. As Crescent Guard is down and Cap steals it, and there's just no way out. She was forced to flash, and Dplus end up losing out in a big way.
Yeah, and they didn't even really have Smash and ShowMaker available for that fight either, as it was just kind of the other three having a little bit of a skirmish for themselves. Great collapse from G2 to make sure that they could get that advantage. However, the advantage is not really even 1,000 gold just yet. The game is exceptionally close.
G2 skills.
The problem is that maybe that's not going to be enough.
Yes and no. It's just, it's not about that, you know, like the composition is so polarizing. It's like, it's all about if the engage hits or not, or the poke hits and the disengage lands. Can we expect some conduit C9? Probably, yeah, we will.
Faker's 17 kills, but it's a pretty good spot in this one. And, you know, I think that G2's comp scales better here. So many different ways to fight a team fight. You can play through a pick with Hansama and the burst he has. You can play through the Sylas setup. You can play it slow. And now they have control over this dragon, so Dplus is going to be the ones who have to aggress, and it's so much tougher with a poke comp when you don't have vision. As you can see here, Dplus just cannot see where these G2 members are outside of Hansama, and Labrov's going in.
Yeah, how can you poke if you don't know where? As now Labrov going to take a whole bunch of damage. Battle Shelly comes on through as well, and the Nautilus is just destroyed. It is going to be Shelly making her way over at the same time, as Smash decides that Shelly should not charge. And we'll just give her a headache against the wall. Lucid going to be able to take down this dragon.
Frustrating turning point potentially in this game, because Herald's crashing mid. They got that on
they
the
did manage to get
side.
crashed. Never mind.
And they're getting this
I understand the rush behind engaging, but it needs to be cleaner than that.
Over to Dplus. As this equalizer
dear.
isn't going to necessarily help BrokenBlade, who's in trouble. He's trying to go for the all-in.
Yeah, he does manage to get the silence off his man. Okay, that's a lot of
It's a big win for DK, guys. They got a Drake, they broke a tower, killed BrokenBlade. Did you go to Brazil to coach? No, sadly not. I'm not at this stage in my life.
A disaster. Now the Herald gets
if I was younger and not,
it looks like based on the mini-map there, it might have
you
been
know,
allowed to buy Lucid over there to get. I'm not actually even sure. Might have actually been
at the best of my life obligations.
Shelly did move from the mid lane to
Definitely.
the bottom lane though, and the Wind Becomes Lightning comes in through here at the same time. Labrov, unfortunately,
Labrovador, please.
G2's falling apart.
To take him down. Yeah, exactly. This is
Labrovador, please.
Looking very good. After the early game was playing beautifully, right? And if they just kept it
This
stable,
is supposed to be your game, G2.
Right. And honestly, 1,000 gold, it's not over just yet, but certainly some issues starting to form.
You know what I want to say, and I've been holding it in.
Okay,
well, you know when you're playing Zoe, and that mid turret goes down, Atlus.
Oh, the Zoe turret wolf, that was your first color point in your entire career, like 8 years ago or something.
It's been like 5 million years since we got to talk about it, but when the mid turret goes down, you have a Zoe.
Is it games after this? No, this is the final one of the day.
Normal, but for Dplus, it's what they have.
After this has been decided.
It's hard to be SkewMond trying
the top 8 has been decided.
Trying to set up vision, because if you don't
Genji, JDG, KC, T1.
They have that ward deep up in the mid lane. They have wards on the left and right side of the river. And now, if anyone on G2 is alone, they will be collapsed on pick. They have to move as a group. Hansama alone.
BOG. No Lion. Silas. Give me Silas. Give me freedom. Okay. Okay, Zenza ult is on. Catches it. They can't fight without caps. They need his DPS. They need his bulkiness. They need his tools to stick. Give us a triple. Come on now, Caps. Nash damage is not enough, I think. Don't do Nash, don't do Nash, don't do Nash.
In this game, it's 22.5 minutes.
The pendulum swings, Wolf.
Exactly, and G2, I don't think, can take this Baron right now. They have too many members who need to back. We don't have TP to rejoin, so it's not going to be a Baron on the play, but it will be gold lead back in G2's hands.
Go Nash, grief the game.
Was alone, but he wasn't alone. He was just isolated, and Dplus thought they found that target. Smash is zooming here, but I don't think he'll be able to do anything on his own.
Yeah, that Q damage is crazy.
The rest of the team shows up. The TP
Oh, do you think MSI jet lag matters? Depends on the team.
Are able to fight this one out. So Caps who comes in here and
depends on the player, depends on timing. Can be random, could not be random. Like,
and they're able to get over here, set up the crest.
maybe you have an early flight, maybe you fly business, maybe you're on the plane and there's a baby sitting next to you, just crying the whole time. You know?
For Dplus, and that's where the problems can start. If you don't get the initial pick, then they have more consistent damage than you on the G2 side.
Exactly, and what you really
maybe that's what happened to Inspire. He's just like sleeping next to a baby. Or he's like flying, and there's a baby next to him. Then he says, "Baby, what are you doing? I'm trying to sleep."
At full health on both sides, I think G2 should win almost 10 out of 10 times. And so it's going to take some pretty creative team fights to be set up here with the Shock Blast connecting, the Paddle Stars landing, and these orbs being thrown around effectively here by Dplus.
Yeah, this baby's just grieving.
Moving into the Dplus side of the map.
They really need to defend this turret by any means necessary. They cannot give that one up. That's what they want to play through here in this mid game right now. Is a big push in the bottom lane from Shu is going to pull BrokenBlade back. BrokenBlade does not have TP, so a little bit of a tempo advantage here to get Baron Vision back for Dplus. And we finally have an even game here in this series. You know, it's anyone's game to take right now. G2 keeping it interesting after it looked like maybe they were starting to fall by the wayside, but Dplus now...
I don't know, I haven't flown without noise cancellation
as we're looking for that
since
third item for
2012, bro.
Focal point here for G2. Once he has the IE complete, he is going to be a monster.
He really will. Smash is also looking
Caps looking with the Zinza ultimate, does damage to ShowMaker. The hook forward, the Nautilus ult. Can we get the culling? Where's the culling? Where's the culling? Hansi, there's the culling. Give him some pepper, come on now. Take us to game 3, G2. I don't know, bro. I think it's very rude of G2 to bully these charity workers.
Jungler's down though. Taking this dragon with enough damage here from Hansama, and a retreat from Dplus is looking very difficult to contest here for the side of Dplus, and they can't do anything cross map. There isn't any cross map to take, so even though
Dplus is just trying to spread cheer, bro.
Really be able to get anything in exchange, so that's going to be 2 apiece on the dragons. Pretty close game here. Hansama picked up some additional gold in the fight. When all the cooldowns are gone, that's when G2 can just say, all right, we're going to force this fight.
He caps just one-shot ShowMaker if he chains him instead.
Hansama gets stunned here by the scatter, and he's like, all right, that's it. Everything's down. I'm walking forward. SkewMond's going in. He's going to trade his life here for all of that damage onto Shiu.
Why did Squidward play Susan G1 such a waste?
And DK, I feel like they need to slow things
down.
SkewMond
Squidward.
They need to
how do we end up there?
Find an angle before these fights happen, but Caps isn't letting it. As he dives over and starts the fight immediately. And that's precisely what we were saying. Dplus cannot let happen. And like
that guy has the job that Labrov would have if he didn't play Pro League.
Keeping himself alive against all of this
damage,
I think is going to be a very, very good idea.
And it's one of the things
oh, is that Rumble? Is that a G2 Rumble? No way.
The next thing they'd be worried about is
why would anyone take the time to draw that, bro?
Because the turn is fierce.
G2 Rumble.
They can't poke what they can't see, as this turret in the mid lane is so important. And they are going to keep it alive a little bit longer, but it is very,
Hansama 3 items. Hansama don't get stunned by Syndra, baby. All you need to do, you need to just do your culling from max range and don't get CC'd. Your job is done, mate. Siwoo. Oh, Hansi. Look at Sylas pushing. He doesn't have TP. He does have TP, but he wants to base for something. Is this Elixir buy?
Really nice play here from Dplus, getting over there, getting back control of mid.
Yeah, definitely the Infernal map haste is kind of crazy. It is kind of nutty. Like when you get it in games where you have to buy mercs and you can't buy CDR shoes, you're like, bah. Does feel fantastic.
That's how this is going to have to be played here for Dplus. An incredibly tough composition to pilot, especially the game state like this, 2,000 gold down. The fact that mid turret's still up is a testament to how much practice Dplus has put into this type of comp.
Well, I think they're going to have to say goodbye to the turret this time around, as Labrov could be in trouble. He tries to anchor his way out as ShowMaker moving on down. DK not going to be able to lock down the Nautilus. They will have to back away.
The Yamato Karen?
One more time. These control wards.
I think Lucid's buy here for the Mormon Mochis is quite greedy, bro. It's such a commitment.
Clear out his camps.
When the enemy still has a lot of DPS output.
I don't think G2 can do Baron either.
In the AD department.
Zoe and Jayce just sounds like a really horrible thing to try and
great turn though, because they've got a Sylas, right? They have this Jarvan.
Yeah, they have to turn instantly.
And if they
make their way over.
If they get vision control and Dplus have to kind of walk towards it and they don't have any poke, it's so easy to turn because Dplus just don't have any answer to the turn. If they're face checking, they're doomed. So that's why right now the Dplus like, we have to put everybody on Baron, get all these wards cleaned up, get our own wards in there. And so G2 can play around getting vision, they're getting the rest of the map. Getting vision on Baron, they're getting the rest of the map. Because Dplus always have to answer that vision. So G2 are doing such a great job of pulling Dplus around the map right now.
And Siwoo answering that bottom lane push. You can see BrokenBlade actually moving that one up. Does have his teleport, as does Siwoo. ShowMaker and Caps as well, with theirs available. In fact, there are quite a few of these summoner spells up on both sides of the rift. I'm waiting for Smash to have his.
Okay.
Almost forcing a flash.
Caps is gonna push out top. Caps being level 16 allows him to maybe do multiple ults in a fight.
Nothing in a fight. Other times, solo win. And we'll see which version ShowMaker is going to be able to be as we get.
Alright. Career didn't engage well enough. Lucy. Caps doesn't get the Zinza ult. Alright. Got the POV. Hansama POV. Lock in. The culling. Oh, he got bubbled. He did. Wait. Sylas lived? Not gonna lie, guys, the Caps TP was really bad. ShowMaker did magic.
That last auto there from ShowMaker to take him out.
Can't believe the Caps lived that, bro. Caps lived.
We saw in the initial engage from Career, because Career was always fishing. He was looking, he's like, I really want this flash out of Hansama.
ShowMaker has another flash, he knows.
We'll dodge
Lucid.
this one, but Lucid's still here.
Yep, stolen flash gets ShowMaker over there. Dash cannon in. There is the ulti to come on through.
Oh, Caps. Caps.
Looking for another one. Unfortunately, the minions are here, so that paddle star is not going to land. The Caps shows up, manages to get the Crescent Guard, and then just dies.
ShowMaker just taking over this game suddenly, Atlus, as G2 fans.
Is this 2020, man? Is it 2020?
Did he point at his hairline?
It feels like it is. And so watch this setup here as Hansama doesn't...
It's just a Sylas TP in the middle of it. He got CC chain, didn't get Zinza ult off, no hourglass. He needed to insta hourglass, plain and simple. He just dashed in the line and still got Syndra stunned.
More of these skill shots coming out for ShowMaker. Hansama has no flash, and then boom! Smash gets the hit on him. He has no flash. He's slept, and ShowMaker will take him out with that final auto.
It's quite disappointing.
He's just left by the wayside. It was a good
it was such a
G2 after the initial salvo, but ShowMaker and Smash, the double mages played it so well.
Hans got bubbled.
Is down, the fight is a wash.
Yeah, there is nothing that
Caps' gold hasn't moved at all.
Left a little bit to be desired, right?
Not closer
DK
to
never
Void.
Really wanted to be where it was, and Caps found himself just right in amongst it. And I like the idea.
Caps Giga trolled. We can't blame Hansama for this fight.
DK time to poke them out. The problem is you also need to have a good setup in order to make these team fights work. And Dplus holding them at arm's length, utilizing Lucid and the Crescent Guard, the Magnet Storm.
DK is just playing their poke game now.
And then Smash able to get these orbs down and scatter the G2 members all over the mid lane. It was beautiful to watch. And we said, like, Dplus has
well, Hansama just finished his 4th item.
The thing is, it's just always quite difficult to play.
Yes, 100% crit chance now. His ult does crazy amount of damage. Like, G2's game state is still quite good. They just need to be a little bit more creative with their angles with Jarvan. Like, I haven't seen SkewMond this game at all. Like, can we converge on the enemy a little bit more? Can we, like, collapse on them and use Fog of War? We're all just showing on wards and vision on midwave. I think that we should stop fighting on the midwave G2.
Bubble going to connect there onto the Nautilus. They have to stand in front in order to save him as the Paddle Star somehow goes wide. That is a massive amount of damage.
We just get hit by that.
Also asleep onto Hans. Thankfully gets back into the fog of war in order to keep himself alive. And Wolf, at the back of all of that, they managed to pick up the Drake as well. And I think Drake control is so incredibly important for poke compositions, because otherwise you're going to get pulled around the map. Soul Point now.
I don't know, you have a very big incentive for G2 to fight before the death caps land, you know, on 2 players. Like, you have such a big item advantage, G2. Like, you have to just force Nash.
G2 just don't have the same
just force Nash.
Control over this game. His career is a bit too far.
Oi, career.
E
again from Caps. That's the flash. We're forcing Nasher here, right? DK. DK classic.
Gets the laser beam out to take down the Jayce.
They just gotta go straight to Baron here.
Oh shit. Labrov, relax, mate. Can we just do Nash? Like, what's happening to us? Why are we playing where like ShowMaker has the craziest angles ever, bro?
They're gonna now put Ansama with this 4-item Lucian to work on the Baron, and I don't think Dplus can contest easily. Lucian has GA.
Now why are we letting them go? Why are we letting them cross? Labrov. Caps. Caps got bubbled. Hourglass that.
Getting a little bit sleepy is Caps, but he goes golden.
Okay.
And ShowMaker able to flash out of the way, utilizing the flash that he stole earlier.
That got me nervous that G2 didn't want to do Nash, bro.
To be picked up by G2. Not a whole lot of response here for DK, as a minute and a half left on this Dragon means that
Flash economy looks good though for DK. They didn't lose any. It's all gonna come down to this Drake either way.
The response attempted here from Lucid.
Caps having TP, maybe he can split push and make the DK position awkward for the fight.
This is what we were talking about. You don't have vision.
I have no idea what Career is doing though, hitting this pink ward.
Career is over here trying to take it, but G2 was thinking one step ahead. They are able to capture this Rell now at the cost of a lot of these abilities, including SkewMond's ultimate. But when they get this pick here onto Siwoo on the other side, who's trying to
this culling damage is nasty with 100% crit.
But even though Labrov was low, they were able to secure it. They're looking for more. If they get a pick or two here, they could potentially bring us to 3 right now.
Alright, ShowMaker on death cap. ShowMaker does some demonic damage now. Demonic.
We're going to get this mid lane pushed in. They're clearing out the jungle of Dplus as well. And they always had the gold lead, but it had been really strong.
Oh, shit.
Right? And now it is starting to extend
one
more time. SkewMond, though, takes about 1 billion damage, as the poke is still very scary from ShowMaker and from Siwoo.
And this push is pretty thwarted right now. They're just simply going to have to back away and reset. So Dplus, a little bit of extra wiggle room, which is huge because the Dragon, which is an Infernal Soul for them, spawns in 15 seconds. So G2 need to rush over and deny Dplus's take of this important Dragon. SkewMond healed up and ready.
The thing that I'm scared about, Wolf, is that there's a Rabadon's death cap on ShowMaker. If he hits anyone with that sleepy trouble bubble and then the paddle star lands, they may just die.
Smash is about to buy his, and he's got TP. He's gonna grab that one and head straight over to this fight. This might be the last fight of the game.
Yeah, the bubble is on the ground as there is that death cap you were talking about. The teleport right into this mid lane. There's Caps, he's got that Crescent Guard once again. It is going to be very dangerous. Hex Flash gets Labrov in there, but the scatter comes on down. Great Magnet Storm there from Career. Hans to the skies, he goes, and Hans is dead. Caps
Hansi.
well. A 2 for 2 so far, and they
do
eliminate.
Caps versus ShowMaker.
Trying to dance around the battlefield. He finds the angle, he picks up all of these flashes, and Lucid is there.
I don't know, bro. ShowMaker has every flash in the world.
And now it's ShowMaker.
Caps waiting so long with R. Damn.
They can walk up this mid lane and break open the base.
Ending is kind of tight, no? Am I crazy?
Of that G2 fan in the audience, I think it can be felt around the world as Ansama is deleted in the fight. Death time.
This is optimistic, no?
40 seconds for Caps.
I don't think they can end.
They get this inhibitor, absolutely, but they may even put some damage here on these Nexus turrets. Labrov gonna come up here and try to buy time.
Yeah, they're gonna look to try and end the game when.
But did DK just end?
Up and available, I imagine.
Did DK just grief?
And just head on over towards this Infernal. Remember, like an Infernal Soul for a poke composition, that's kind of ideal.
Okay, no, they're getting the Drake. They're getting the Drake. They're getting the Drake.
They can grab that one.
They're getting the Drake.
I really thought that it was going to be a G2 freebie.
And I don't even know. Like, I want to watch
Sylas has TP on spawn. Lucian has TP. There's vision on Drake. They just gave G2 a chance. They gave G2 a chance, ladies and gentlemen. Sylas is TPing on that pink.
That's an aggressive teleport here from Caps. Does pick up the double bubble as Labrov is already down to about a third health and maybe nothing as the Magnustorm picks up 3.
Nah, Hans Sama is just so killable. What's happening in this fight? Hans is just too killable. And G2's out. My lord.
Just skipping around the battlefield, and they will kill them once again.
My lord.
And now start that walk over.
Yeah, they have the super minion wave
Oh,
here. Infernal soul needed. Double mage comp is going
Can't
to
believe
work
it.
here for Dplus as they will knock G2 out of the Esports World Cup in 2026 with a 2-0.
What an unbelievable performance in back-to-back games. Different styles, and just made it.
That's LSK5 right there.
So incredibly good. ShowMaker's Zoe, we were transported back to when he was that world champion.